Portugal, the country that boasts the oldest city in Western Europe, Lisbon, the country of Magellan, Vasco da Gama, the country that introduced spices to the Western world from the East, the country that is credited with the first circumnavigation of the Earth, the country of Eusebio, the country of Ronaldo. When most people think of Portugal, they tend to think Lisbon, Porto, the Algarve. But what they miss out on is the real beauty, the natural beauty, the interior of Portugal. And this is what attracts a lot of foreigners here who want to live among the locals, where the culture is relatively undiluted and where they have to learn just a little bit of the language just to get by. Now, some buy the dream homes and the cottages and the villas, but some choose just to buy a piece of land where there is no electricity, no running water, and certainly no Wi-Fi. And these are called the off-gridders. Now, regardless of whether you bought a piece of land or your dream home, the foreigners who choose to move to Portugal to make their life here are called the Estrangeiros. This series of programs aim to examine why did they choose Portugal? What are they doing here? What are their future plans? And most importantly, what do the locals think of it?
In my opinion, is very important in your community. Have people of other countries, other nationalities, new cultures. It's very important to have other cultures and other ways of beginning thinking, to grow collectively, and open also an opportunity to have more habitants and repopulate these territories, because it's the most important challenge we have to do when you have responsibilities. In my case, I have responsibilities in Viseu, and this is a big challenge, for me it's very, very important to have lots of people to the other countries, the other nationalities, to do your lives in Viseu. For me is very important, and I think is in Fundão is have in the other way, because of a center of migrations, and this is very important to do these people. But for me it's very, very important, and in the school I have very kids to do the school in Portugal, and the relation with the other kids, it's perfect, because and for me it's very, very important the relationship at him, the transmission with the cultures. I think is very, very important.
I have been living nomadically for a few years, and that was all fun, but it was a bit complicated sometimes to fill some gaps between work and where to stay.
Is that in the Netherlands, yeah?
Well, I worked all over the world.
Okay.
So, but I had, places, friends in the Netherlands, and you were always welcome to stay. But at some point, it's a bit tiring to always live out of a suitcase. And I do like outdoor life a lot, and I bumped into someone who was thinking about moving to Portugal, gave a whole list of reasons why Portugal was 10 times better than Spain or Italy or whatever. And I'm like, hey, if you've done the research, that sounds great. And that's how I got inspired to have a look here in Portugal. And I didn't even question if Italy or Spain might have been nicer. I was just like, yeah, looks great.
God, that's dangerous. Someone else's recommendation.
Well, no, but yeah.
No pressure. Yeah.
I'm very impulsive in a way. And, grass can be greener on the other side, but just don't look at the other side. Just go for what you have and what you find.
I like that. So are you happy you're here now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I like the outdoor part.
And you've been here?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
And I planned very wisely. I came here when the rain came.
Yes.
So
we've seen the rains.
So any advice to whoever comes here, just don't come in the month that it rains. It's just it's not bad that it rains, but it holds you back from all the things you want to do to get started.
Well, it's a total washout, isn't it?
There was a bit of water. I had an empty well when I arrived, and it's overflowing.
So you pitched all that yourself?
Yes.
In the rain?
Yes.
Yeah. I bet that wasn't easy, was it?
No, it was, no. Of course, it was dry the day after and the day before, but on the day that the big move had to take place, it was, of course, drizzling.
Was it? Just a little bit?
Well, actually, that day wasn't too bad. It was drizzling. The day that the awning needed to go up was, the day that it started raining. Putting up an awning without instructions, never doing it before, not knowing if your set of poles is, complete in the rain is.
You're brave.
It was a bit of a challenge, but it's up.
So what's happening now? Now you're here. Are you what are your plans?
My plan is to make a plan, because I don't have one yet.
That's
and there's a few varieties and variable. I don't know.
Variable, yeah.
And as I said, I do freelance work, so I never know when I work and where I work. So I'm working on that, and then I try to spend the time in between here.
So what will
and
you
I
do?
try very hard not to be here in the summer.
Why is that?
It's a bit hot. It's a bit hot in
Everybody
August.
comes to Portugal for the heat.
Yes, but 40 plus.
True.
Living in a caravan, like a little oven.
Yeah.
And I might have a fridge that works a few hours a day.
And what was that? Is it power or?
Yeah, power, because I'm off grid and I have a solar system up, and but the fridge needs quite a lot. And
That's
summer will tell if my little solar system is enough for the fridge to run. It does work now 2 hours a day. But it was freezing last night, so that's okay.
Oh, was it? Does that heat your place?
No, I have a petroleum burner.
So this is it. This is just your land.
Yeah.
You've got your olive trees and.
Well, it's about. I did a quick count, but I stopped. I think it's about 50 to 60 olive trees, producing olive trees.
Okay.
Quite a big harvest last year, and there are about 15 oak trees. They are protected and they produce oak once every 7 years. And I have a few mysterious fruit trees that I'm not sure about yet. I know I have figs. There's a few very old grapevines. And that's about it.
Okay, so you have your olive yield for later in the year then.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
We're gonna have to have a look around there, see what else you got. So you extend right down that way.
There's like 3 terraces, like the 3 main terraces here, the top one, and then the third one in the bottom. That is a bit of a marshy area at the moment, and I'm not sure yet what I can do there. Especially now, after all the rainfall, it gets pretty wet. My shower area, toilets.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
Composting, and it's a bucket shower for now. I have some plans for the future, but it works for me.
That's your shower basin, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So where does the water come from?
Well, this is the side bucket, but I boil I boil some water in the kettle first, and then I add colder water, which is rainwater, and I'll just get in there. And this is the Asian way of showering.
Okay.
And then your soap is just around here, and
Oh,
that's
right,
it.
okay.
And then because you don't want to get your feet dirty and wet,
Step on a rug.
and then there's your towel, and that's about
That's
it.
all that matters.
And that's about it. But this is the one that has to stay clean. So.
Okay. I was looking up, saying,
No.
where is the water coming from?
No,
But you still
it's
know,
it's an
okay.
Asian bucket shower type of thing. I kind of like that.
Not good in the winter though.
You boil
not-
water.
Mm-hmm.
No, honestly, I mean I have had a few nights here -5 in the morning when I wake up in the caravan, and I have a metal basin, and I wash, with a cloth.
Yeah.
Just again, kettle, cold water, washing cloth, soap, and do the old school washcloth wash, which
Okay.
works wonders, except for the hair washing part.
I know. I can't. I'm looking for the plugs for your hairdryer, but
No,
clearly not
no.
installed yet.
Not happening. No, and I saw myself in the mirror the other day. That had been a while too. It was a. And you start to realize that you don't have a mirror.
You're a brave woman. Okay, and that looks like a toilet to me.
Yes. Do you want
Okay.
really want the details?
No, I can see. I can see
Okay,
the
'cause-
sawdust in there.
Yes, sawdust. And this is like a camping toilet. There's just a bucket in there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, pooing goes in there. If you only have to pee, you do in the bucket because you kind of want to use urine on your compost heap and other places in the garden. And then a lot of sawdust, and then it goes into the blue bins over there, and it will compost.
So what does the urine do to the plant, to the compost?
Nitrogen adds it to
okay.
the soil. So for poor soil, and also sometimes to speed up your if you have a compost heap that is a bit too dry.
Mm-hmm.
You don't toss in a lot, maybe once a week or something, but it helps to break down the things in your compost heap a lot. I have
Okay.
been told. And the less urine is within your human composting, the faster that will compost too. And then the pile of leaves that is next to it is also to make a mix, because if it's only sawdust, it will be, a little bit of a one-sided composting type.
Oh, okay.
So I mix it with the raw stuff too. And I've got plenty of that here. And then 2 days ago, was windy at night, and I had to do a midnight repair.
Oh, in the dark.
Yes. Yeah. Because this one came up and started flying around this corner. Don't know why. I cannot really lift that on my own.
It's concrete.
It's concrete, yeah. So I did do my little headlights, run to the shed in the wind, in my pajamas, open the shed, get my wheelbarrow out, lift it on the wheelbarrow, and then just dropped it
Threw it
here, because the white ones were obviously not there.
Yeah.
And then I dropped something heavy on the inside, because things were falling over in there.
Okay.
And then the next morning I had a second look and I was like, that was not too bad.
In the dark.
Yeah. But I had to, because it was about, once the wind
Wow.
comes in,
The whole
it's
thing lifts
lifting
up. Yes,
everything.
yes, yes.
And there's a kitchen in there and chairs and stuff and things that can fall over and things that can break. And you don't want the thing to rip. Actually, I think it ripped, by the way. I just now see
So
some
you're
damage.
lucky it wasn't raining then. If it was raining, that would have been difficult.
Yes,
wouldn't
except that I still got extremely soaking wet because my water filter system fell on me with 5 liters of water, so I was in the soaking wet pajamas when it was windy. I don't often swear, but I think I swore. Actually, solar panel, borrowed at the moment. Next week I'm driving to Spain to collect.
So this is the one, yeah?
This is the 50 watt, yeah. And it's connected to a battery in there, and I have a generator as well. If I want to, I can power up with the generator.
Okay.
But at the moment, I'm actually testing to see how much I can get off a 50 watt panel, so I know how much I want to buy. So I try not to run a generator at all, and I'm actually timing how long my light stays on at night, and in combination with how much I charged my phone during the day, just to figure out how much 50 watt gives me, and if I want 150 or 300 watt panels, for instance.
Okay.
Because if you do the investment, you better do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Your batteries are in here then.
Yeah. Yeah. The shed is well. I thought it was waterproof. I'm pretty sure it is not waterproof at the moment. This is going to be a future living space, but there's some work that needs to be done. But the first few days it was very dry in the rain, and then it got saturated.
So you're doing your own pointing?
Yes, I have to do some pointing. I have never done it before. It's not that easy.
Better than mine.
I'm working on it, but it's only a small part that I've done now, but it's 3 or 4 layers, because as you can see in other places, there sometimes are holes this deep.
Yeah.
So you have to put in the first layer, let it dry, second layer, third layer. So I don't work full days on it, because I physically can't. So I do an hour, 1.5, and then come back the next day. But the next day has been already a week, so if you find my motivation lying around somewhere. No, I have to finish this, but first there was a water struggle. And you can see actually that there's some humidity on the bottom, because even the bottom is still wet. So the idea is that I point this, then it will be covered with, what's it called again? Plaster, but some sort of smooth surface, and then paint it white so it will reflect light.
Oh, I see.
And then I will get 2 little holes in the roof with glass tiles.
Oh, I see.
For daylight, and then
That's a
because
good
the
idea.
walls will be white,
That's a good idea.
then it reflects all the light, and in the evening you still need something, but during the day not. And this is officially a building that used to house a tractor. So I'm probably going to put some concrete on the floor as well to smooth and level it out, because there's a hole there. Don't know why.
Second level.
Second level with the well that is actually overflowing at the moment. It was already, I actually dug it out because it was overgrown.
Oh, was it? So how did you know?
And I made a few steps to get to it. Well, I heard some water trickling, so I opened it up to see what it was. And then the field over there was completely flooded, was saturated. So I dug a swill type of thing and to keep the water in there. And actually, because I couldn't walk there.
So where's this overflowing from? From
The well over there.
the well.
But my lemon tree looked better last week. I found that. I think it's a lemon,
Oh.
but I don't know why. Oh, he was very happy last week. He's no longer. And then this one was empty when I arrived.
Oh wow! So that's the rain.
This is rainwater, and I can't tell you, but I think it is a 4 meters deep, 3-4 meters deep, and I saw the bottom.
Rain.
And it's not a well; it's actually a water mine. So there is a man-sized hole in the wall, bricked off.
Okay.
That water comes from up the mountain to fill this. So this is not groundwater coming up. This is water running down from the mountain. And then the funny thing is, which I knew. Well, you can hear it in the back, and I'll show you in a minute. There is a pipe sticking out of the wall. No water came out that pipe in the first 2 weeks of rain. Nothing. So I thought, I don't know why it's there. And then when it started flowing, I really had to dig a few channels, because all my land over there was saturated. And I had plans to, plant some fruit trees in here. So I thought, if I dig a bit of a channel, I can make sure that the soil where I want my future, I hope to buy them Monday and then put them in the soil in the ground as well next week. Then, as long as there is some water, I don't have to walk up and down to water them. That's the village. Lovely at night, and that's also the closest. You know what's really a good thing about this distance between me and the village?
Go on.
The barking dogs at night. I only hear in the distance. I have no neighbors that close to me that their barking dogs keep me awake at night. It's just over there.
It's a stunning view there.
It is quite nice, and also that one over there. Because the moment you turn that corner, you see the bigger towns.
Oh, okay.
Because the shops are 10 minutes from here. All the convenience things are like 10-minute drive from here. 15 most. But just around the corner there is where you see this, the towns
towns.
up the hill, and over here you see only green hills.
Hello, Rudi.
Hello.
Wow, things are a little bit different here. You're not in a caravan anymore.
Nope. Where I used to live, eh?
Oh yes, this.
So this is where it all started, which is now a temporary guinea pig rescue corner. They're normally full-time outside, but there was way too much rain after a massive drought, so they were flooding away. So yeah, this is an emergency solution, so they stay dry. But yeah, I used to live in here, and now it's 11 guinea pigs. So yeah, this was definitely not here yet. This is my studio. It's a proper mess, because that's what studios are. But yeah. This is where some of the restoring of furniture happens, and artwork and etc. But yeah, it's a studio. I did come to Portugal really without a plan, and also really without a lot of expectations. It was for me, at the time I was still working a lot abroad, and I didn't have a base in the Netherlands, and I thought Portugal would be my base in between my travels. So it's not like I moved to live a dream, like, you know, the dream in Southern Europe or whatever like that. I was just looking for a base, but it turned out, you know, I got bit sick and I lost the jobs and then COVID, etc. So it became permanent, me being here. So yeah, the first few years you're quite busy with making it livable and building and things like that. And you have to really tell yourself every now and then to have a little break and go and do fun things and enjoy where you are, because you can get completely swallowed up by all the building that's going on. So yeah, when I think a year ago, 1.5 years ago, it was kind of like, you know, infrastructure is there, everything is livable. So the project of making this place livable came to an end, and then you have a lot of days to fill. And yeah, you're kind of looking for a bit of a meaning in life or something to do to occupy your time with. And by that time, I had realized there is no such thing as a second-hand shops or anything like that over here. And I do like to find bargains, and I do like to, you know, repair some things and upcycle things and stuff like that. So I started actually in my studio upcycling things and doing the markets. And at some point I just thought, why not just get a physical shop in the village or in the town? Because my studio was getting too small and the markets were not big enough for the stuff that I was making. And restoring, you know, if you have desks and wardrobes that you're restoring, you're not dropping them off at a market. So yeah, that's how I ended up with a shop in Fundao. It's only open 2 days a week, for several reasons, because I don't want to work 5 days a week, but also if you want to put stuff in the shop, you need to go and get it, you need to go and transport it, you need to go and restore it. So I do need some time for that. And yeah, that's how you kind of need something else to fill your days with. I feel it's also for your social network. important because I do live alone. And the shop makes it I see a bunch of people because I have a steady group of people who come to the shop on a regular basis. And it's also very, very good, I think, for integrating in the society because the amount of Portuguese people that I have met through the shop and that I'm in touch with, and how I am now part of that little corner of buildings and other businesses in the corner where my shop is, made me feel, yeah, way more part of the country and the village and the town where I live in now. So I think that was it's not a bad move to have the shop. So yeah, we'll continue with that. I think it's about 4.5 years ago that you were here. I moved here February 2018 and it's December 2022 now. So yeah, almost 5 years. So yeah, a few things have happened. I was here in my caravan. I moved in here, living in the caravan. The place that you're in here right now, that was a tractor shed with the actual tractor in it when I bought the place. So yeah, made the first basic things first so I could cook and I could have an outdoor bucket shower. And then when spring arrived in 2018, started doing something to this building. There were holes in the wall where you could see the light through, so that was that's a lot of work to fill that up with cement layer by layer. The whole roof came off, made waterproof, new roof tiles on, and then there was a concrete floor poured in here, and the stove, wood stove burner was added, and that's where we left it at that point. So it was livable but not perfect yet. And I wanted to insulate the floor and have a laminated floor, but you need to have at least a year of that moisture to come out. Also didn't have a budget, and wanted to insulate the ceiling as well. And oh yeah, we also made the lights. So there was no light in here before. There was also no doors. Those doors were custom made. So there are 3 glass doors to get some extra light in here. Solar system on it. Freezer that runs as a fridge, and then all my cooking happens outside. So after this was semi-livable and I started moving in here, made a makeshift outdoor kitchen, and that was upgraded the year after to make it bigger and actually a roof over it. And then I also made a bathroom there, bathroom, toilet, and a tool shed. And then somewhere in between, the vegetable garden was fenced off because I had the wild boar here. So my first year of veggie growing was more or less gone within one evening from a wild boar visit. And polytunnel was made. I don't know what stage, but at some point I made well, I do know. I made a shelter for sheep. I had sheep for 24 hours. They not supposed to be able to climb a 2-meter wall, but they did, so I don't know where they are now, but they escaped. And then the sheep shelter was turned into a chicken coop. I had chickens for until last week. They moved now to another place because I'm moving, and they can't be free roaming in my new place. And they are free roaming here, so I gave them away to someone where they can free roam again. Got a cat as well, and somewhere in the first year. Adopted her from the shelter here. And then earlier this year, I don't know why, but I adopted a massive dog who was also in the shelter for over a year, and he's quite old already. And then the guinea pigs, I wanted 4 guinea pigs. Got myself 4 females, as I was told. They were not 4 females, so I have 11 now. Starting to get giving them away at the moment as well, because my new place doesn't really have the space. So yeah, I'm selling this place. It's for sale at the moment, and I'm moving. And that was a weird decision making I did. Well, it's not really weird. When I moved here 5 years ago, when I was planning on moving, I was quite healthy. And then during my search here, which took me almost a year to find this place, I was hit with very severe rheumatoid arthritis, which kind of made me bedbound for almost 6 months. And this is also one of the reasons why I lost all my jobs, because I am a tour guide, safari guide, and the body doesn't do it anymore. So where this was always supposed to be a base in between all my tours, it ended up to be permanent. So yeah, I was testing out all sorts of medication, and my joints give me problems. But in the first few years, there were quite a few things, like living on the land does ask a few things of your body. Land needs to be trimmed, generators need to be started. And it's like last winter where I started to realize, and earlier this spring, that it's a progressive disease. So can no longer trim means I need to find someone to do it for me. I need to pay that person as well, and it's always hard to find people. And the same for the generator. My solar system is good enough to run my water pump in the springtime and in the summer and part of the autumn, but in wintertime I need the generator. And I can't start my generator myself anymore, meaning I always have to ask someone to come over to do that for me. And that means that you have to ask a favor from friends over and over and over again, and that becomes annoying. But also I don't want to be having to rely on other people. So that made me realize that although I do love the concept of solar power, it might be smart for the future to find a place where there is mains electricity and maybe mains water. And I started looking around and realized that financially I need a mortgage to be able to move into something with electricity. With my age, because I'm 49, I can get a mortgage in Portugal right now. I probably won't be able to get a mortgage in Portugal next year. So when I realized that there was, an expiration date on when to get a mortgage, I kind of realized I didn't really have an option to wait 2, 3, 4 more years to see, if my body could cope with this whole off-grid living, and that I more or less had to act now. So yeah, I would have loved to stay here a few more later. On the other hand, prices are rising in Portugal. My income isn't. I could still get a mortgage now, so it was the smart and the sensible thing to do. And now I'm trying to embrace it, because I will really, really, really miss this lifestyle here, and the amount of outdoor space I have, and I'm secluded and there's forest around me. And my new place has land as well, but it's a bit of a weird bit of land sandwiched between neighbors and stuff like that. And I'm just focusing on the fact it has electricity and it has water. So for the future, I'm more independent, don't have to rely on other people as much as I have to do here. So that's why I'm moving. So yeah, the new place, work in progress. Had hoped to be in here before Christmas, and it's January now, and we're nowhere near. Didn't need a lot of work. Only sewer, and only to be water brought in, and only part of the roof replaced. But and only a door opening and another door opening. But before weeks and months passing, you have a few setbacks. But sewer got in today, more or less fully completed today, and next week after, electricity, water going in. So maybe I'm in February, hopefully. And if not, it's March or April. We'll see. But yeah, we're still busy renovating. But in general, the core of the building was quite good. The main building was okay. The main rooms were okay. I mean, it's not a full reno. It's not a full rebuild of a ruin, but it still takes up a lot of time and money. But yeah, it is one of the first sunny days in months. 3 months of rain, more or less, and it's cold because it's January. But yeah, we're plottering on. And maybe see you next time when I'm actually moved in and you can see what the end result is. Finally moved in, a little bit longer than anticipated. Like we thought, yeah, finished before Christmas, but it's April now. Yeah, so this is it. I'm in. I'm settling in, and this is supposed to be my last house, last big adventure. But it's okay for a while. But I'm not promising this will be the last move I make in Portugal, because you never know, me and projects. I might find something else in the near future again. But for now, it's really, really nice. It's a big upgrade, and I love the luxury of electricity, running water, sewer, and yeah.
Surprise! Biscuits.
Oh. That's what shocked me. I was going to keep Biscuit out of the way, and then Blue just went. Wow! No, this is the wrong way around.
Yeah, help yourself.
She just went straight round the well. Yeah. She walked up and the wall walked out.
He does the same whistle that she felt that she needed to follow him because he whistled. So anyway, the dry pan, and I put the nuts in it with high heat and transport.
Well, I think you can take requests as well.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of my daughter. She is a very strong woman and she lives now in Portugal. I think children have to do the things they make them happy and not what parents like to see. Because it's her life, and of course I miss her in the Netherlands, but I honestly think you have your own life to live. That's and to do what you make happy, and nobody else can tell you what make you happy. You are the person that knows where you're happy from.